Hello, my name is Kyle Constant. I am the current chair of the Missouri Evergreen Reports Committee. In this video, I'm going to discuss the process and importance of cloning reports in Evergreen. This video is part of a series on the various functions of Evergreen reports. To find the rest of the series, you can go to moevergreenlibraries.org and find reports training materials under the Member Resources navigation menu. To get started, I'm going to go back to the reporting tool and we will start discussing cloning. So cloning reports allows you to create a copy of or modify an existing template. It's very important that member libraries clone templates from shared folders that you wish to run reports. I'm going to discuss this in a little bit more detail at the end of this video. Commonly, you will begin the cloning process by selecting a template in one of the shared folders that meets your needs. So I will just select one of these more or less at random and I will select Clone Selected Template from the drop-down menu and click Submit. Then I have to choose which folder I want to save my cloned version of this template. I'm going to select the example folder here, and you can see it pops up and says example. I discussed managing folders in another video, so if you get to this point and you're not sure exactly what folder to save things in, you may want to go back and watch that video. But I'm going to select an example and click Select Folder. Now once I have selected the folder, now it wants to know if there's any changes that I want to make or if I just want to save it. So if I'm just saving a copy of it to run it as is, then I may only want to change the title. For instance, something that Evergreen does whenever you are creating a clone, it always appends the word clone in parentheses at the end. Maybe you want to remove that. It also appends converted from Zool to templates that were originally created in Zool if you are now using the web client, which we all are. If and when you make changes, you can see that that field turned green, so then you know that you have made some kind of a change in that field before you save. You can also go down and actually add fields, remove fields, things like that. That is a little bit more of an advanced option, and it's something that we'll probably discuss in a later video. But for now, I'm just going to save this template as is. So I will just come up here and click Save Template. So now I should have a perfect copy because I didn't change anything other than the title in my example folder. And you can see there's the one that I just did, and I removed converted from Zool and clone. I do have another template in this same folder that I created earlier and did not remove those parentheticals, and this is something that I want to use later on. But this is where your templates will be saved and from where you can run them. At any point, if you want to move them around, let's say that you create new folders and want to move templates around from place to place, you can just simply click that checkbox there and select Move Selected Template to a different folder, click Submit, and then choose a new folder. So moving things around is relatively straightforward. So now I want to get into a little bit about why it's important to clone these templates before you run them, rather than, for instance, if I am in one of the shared folders and I select the same template, rather than choosing the top option, which is create a new report from this template, I can do that and I can put in all of my information that I want to run in this template and have it run directly off of the template that is in the shared folder. But I'm going to show you why that is potentially problematic for the consortium as a whole. And that is because this template that I created earlier and ran, you can actually see I created a report and an output in folders also named example. So I have example report and I have example report here. This is in my output folder. So I have run this at least once from this folder. And if I choose to delete it, then I will get a warning. And it will say, this will also delete all of your attached reports and outputs for this template. So the reports that I have run using this template and all of the output that I have gotten from those reports will all go away whenever I delete this template. So in Evergreen, your reports and outputs are inextricably linked to the templates that you've used. So the next warning on this in this dialog box says if other users will have reports or outputs attached to this template, those will be left untouched and the template will not be deleted. So you actually are kind of limited if you have other people that have run this same template to run their reports. So you can see if I go ahead and click OK, yes, I want to delete this, exactly what it's warning me about will actually happen. So I'm going to just refresh my page to make sure that you can see what has happened. So if I go into the reports now, into the example folder in reports, where there was previously a report called example report, and then I go into output, the folder called example, where there used to be example report output, now that's gone as well. So when I got rid of that template out of the example folder, everything else got removed, just like I said, or just like the warning came up and said. So the issue that we have in the shared folders is that if folks are running reports directly out off of these templates, then the reports committee or anybody else that has the ability to edit or add to these folders will not be able to manage those quite as effectively if they've been used to run reports for member libraries. So if we go in to try to delete something, maybe to put in a newer version that has a field added or a field removed or a better description, or we just remove something that's just fallen out of use, that's going to be impossible if it's going to be impossible to actually delete it if people have run it directly out of these folders. There are workarounds and we can figure out ways to get things out of these folders, but it's just a little bit easier and cleaner if everybody has cloned it and run reports off of their clones rather than off of the templates that are directly in these folders. Another added benefit for a member library is that if you clone it and then the source template that you use to create the clone is then removed, you can still have your template and use it as long as you wish. So that is something that the reports committee has suggested to libraries in the past. If something was only being used by one or two libraries, we have asked them if it was something that we needed to clean out of a folder to please clone it and save it somewhere locally so that they would still have access to it, and then we would remove the template out of the shared folder to kind of clear up a little bit of the clutter that was not being used by others. So that is the long and short of creating clones. Again, the cloning process can be a little bit complicated, and we will go into more detail in other videos about adding and removing fields and things like that. But hopefully this has given you a basic understanding of how to clone reports and a little bit more information about why cloning reports is so important. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.